It's June 3rd, 2019, and this is your Tech Moment. Julia Alexander writes, YouTube won't stop recommending videos with children despite pedophilia problem. YouTube will not stop recommending videos of young children despite ongoing concerns that predators are being presented with these videos through the company's recommendation algorithm. A new report from the New York Times found that despite evidence from independent researchers that YouTube's algorithm helps videos of children spread among predatory circles, YouTube's teams don't want to turn off recommendations because it would hurt creators by reducing traffic driven to their videos. Instead, the company will, quote, limit recommendations on videos that it deems as putting children at risk, unquote, the Times writes. Limiting recommendations is the latest attempt on YouTube's part to control its pedophilia problem. The company instituted major changes in February when it was first alerted that predators were using the comments section on videos starring children to engage in sexually exploitive conversations. YouTube's safety team decided to close the comment sections on most videos that star minors. A new blog post published on Monday from YouTube's team include additional details about the company's ongoing strategy to fight predatory behavior. YouTube has reduced the number of predatory comments that appear on videos, disabled live streaming for minors unless accompanied by an adult, and reduced recommendations for videos that star kids. The company reiterated that it also removes thousands of accounts per week that belong to children under the age of 13. How should big tech ensure the safety of minors in an era where families post more and more online? Read more about this over today at The Verge. Engadget says, watch Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference keynote at 1 p.m. with them. The WWDC conference is about to get underway, and there should be plenty of news in store at the opening keynote. We expect to learn details about iOS 13, macOS 10.15, watchOS, and more. We might even get a peek at new hardware. Apple doesn't officially stream its events on YouTube or other third-party platforms, though you might find unofficial rebroadcasts elsewhere. For the official streams, you'll need to boot up the Apple TV app or go to Apple's website. The keynote will start at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're unable to watch, we'll have full coverage of everything you need to know on the live blog over at Engadget. Catherine Hsu writes, a look at the many ways China suppresses online discourse about the Tiananmen Square protests. Every year before the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre on June 4th, the Chinese government begins to exert even more control over what information people can access online. This year is the 30th anniversary of the day the protests ended, when the government sent troops to fire on students, activists, and other people demonstrating against the Communist Party. Censorship efforts appear to have intensified, potentially affecting even social media accounts outside of China. From the beginning, the government has tried to control information about the massacre, claiming after the event that 300 people died, even though Amnesty International and other international observers said the death toll may have been much higher, potentially numbering in the thousands. Suppression of information means that an entire generation of people know little about the events, even as activists involved continue to suffer repercussions, including long prison sentences. In recent years, the government's censorship apparatus has become even more powerful, with voice and image recognition and machine learning making it easier to block or remove posts at scale. As a content screening employee at ByteDance recently told Reuters, we sometimes say the artificial intelligence is a scalpel and the human is a machete. This year, one of the most notable examples of the government's annual crackdown on information began in April, when every language version of Wikipedia was blocked in China instead of just the Chinese language version and individual articles about sensitive issues like the Tiananmen Square protests and Tibet. In May, video sharing sites Bilibili and ActFun suspended real-time comments while Dubon Izu, the name translates to Dubon Goose Group, a popular celebrity gossip and news forum with more than 600,000 members, halted service between May 30th and June 29th. Both services claimed they needed to perform system maintenance. You can read more about China's tech censorship over at TechCrunch. Today, Graham Cluley writes, Facebook lawyer argues you should have no expectation of privacy. Next time someone connected to Facebook tries to convince you that it's now really serious about privacy, you know they're pulling your leg. Read how lawyers are saying that Facebook's terms of service mean users agreed to share everything with everyone on grahamcluley.com. Here are your headlines today from DSLreports.com. Senator Chuck Schumer calls on FCC to review New York's horrible internet speeds. NYPost.com. What should HBO cost? The question is giving AT&T executives a headache. NYTimes.com. Elon Musk's plan to dominate space-based broadband. IBTimes.com. Georgia officials are creating a detailed map of every location in the state that lacks high-speed internet as they try to expand broadband access in rural areas. FresnoBee.com. Report, U.S. mobile download speeds half that of Canada. South Korea leads the world. That story's over at telecompetitor.com. Could cable MSOs buy some of T-Mobile's spectrum? That story over at lightreading.com. AT&T adds Locast app to DirecTV. Uverse, the free public service app, allows broadband-connected receivers to access local broadcast stations, but is only available in 9 markets. The story is at multichannel.com. Verizon versus Sprint 5G throwdown. Lightning-fast network speeds are just the beginning, says CNET.com. Apple to shutter iTunes. At Monday's WWDC event, reports Pix11.com. YouTube, Snapchat, Gmail, Discord, and many other web services were down throughout the U.S. during a major Google Cloud service outage, now resolved. Read all about it over at TheVerge.com. You can keep up with all the multi-channel news at DSLreports.com. Help me spread the news. Share this blog across social media, won't you? Get updates throughout the day from my Twitter feed at WEYM0. Subscribe free to the Your Tech Moment blog, the RSS feed, the Amazon skill for your flash briefing. Listen to the podcast from SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Spotify, or watch on YouTube. If you have a special news item you'd like us to promote, or if you would like to sponsor this podcast with an embedded advertisement, please follow me on Twitter, and when I follow you back, send a direct message to get more information. P.S. Have a look at this keynote from NSA's Rob Joyce at CrowdStrike's Security Forum. The link is over at the blog. Have a great day, everyone.